Hey guys, this is Ray again. I'm finally going to do the 10th video in the series, and this one is I'm going to recap quickly the operational settings for the different modes, and also go into a little more detail on the variable rankings method, the first and last rankings method, and show you the easy way to switch, to determine which rankings method actually gets recorded into that first and last record keeping sheet. Okay, first of all, you can see that up here I've selected to use the recalculated running styles because those have been working better than the existing running styles that come with the data file that I use, the JCapper files. So there's a 1 in that box up here. You can select either one. If you're using BrisNet running styles, they work pretty well, so you probably want to use existing running styles instead of the recalculated ones. Alright, this is a Santa Anita workbook, and it's for 2016, the start of the meet up to the present point in the meet. First of all, we're going to go through the operational modes quickly that were covered in the other videos. The first one I'm going to go through is how to populate the database sheet, record keeping sheet. Let me show you where that record keeping sheet or the database sheet is. It's this BBDB work tab down here. Just click that and you'll see the database sheet. And when you populate the database, you'll select your cards and run them through the program, and the winners running style and queer and early points for win, place, and show will be grabbed for each race that goes through the program. It also lists the class, the distance, and the surface, which race number it was, and what date, what track, and the PPG category that applies to that race, the pace pressure gauge for that race. Let me go back to the main sheet. Okay, to populate the database, first thing you have to do is if there is data in the database that does not apply to the test you're going to be doing, you need to clear that database. So let's go back to the BBDB sheet. To clear the database, you would just click this erase existing database button, and it'll clear out all of this data so you can start over from scratch. I'm going to go back to the main sheet. Alright. To populate the database, you have to have a starting card number, as was I told you about that in the earlier videos, and an ending card number. Normally, for me, that's about 24 cards, and it's either the immediate time period before you're going to start testing the tracks. If you were going to start testing the track on the 100th card number down here in the card number column, if you were going to start with 100 as your first test, then your database should include the cards immediately before that card. Or you could use the same time period. Say if I'm going to start at 100, which is March 22nd, and I wanted to use the previous year's files to as in the database, then I would start with March 22nd of the previous year and use the first 24 cards there, or approximately 24 cards. That'll usually get you around 240 or 250 races in the database, which is about right. So You either use the previous 24 cards to the one that you're going to start testing with, or the same time period that you're going to test from the previous year. So let's just use that as an example. If I'm going to put in the database last year's, let's see, let's start with last year's, which would be 2015. The first card for 2015 was on January 1st, and that's card number 53. So I would put 53 as the starting card number. And I would want 24 cards, which if you look up here in this block, you'll see the number of cards that you have selected, or the number of rows you have selected. So if I started with January 1st and I went until that red 24R, which is 24 rows, then I would know what my ending card number would be to get 24 cards in there. And that ending card number would be this one, and it would be card number 76. So that would be my ending card number. Type that in there. Now, to populate the database, all you have to be, the only mode you have to be in is batch process mode, which means you have to have a 1 there, and none of the other mode boxes should have anything in them, including the auto record mode box here. That should be empty. The daily play mode box here should be empty, or should have a 1. Should be empty because you have to have results to put into the database. So if there's a 1 here, that means you're in daily play mode, and that won't work to populate the database. You have to have results, so you'd click with results, which takes that 1 away. Also, the all record mode box should be empty, so just click in there. If there's a 1 in there, click in there and hit backspace and then click out, and that'll clear that box. So now you'll notice once I've got the correct settings for adding to the database or populating the database, which is starting card, ending card, and batch process. Up here in this box you'll see that that's the mode you're in, adding to database. It's the same as populating the database. And then once you get the proper operational mode displayed in this box, this cell, you're ready to click Run Data. So you just click Run Data and wait until the timer window pops up to tell you that you've finished populating the database. Okay, that's populating the database mode. The next mode I want to try show you is the daily play mode, which is live racing. In daily play mode, you can only look at 1 card at a time because you're handicapping 1 track and 1 day's card. So you're using the same card for your starting card number and your ending card number. To go into daily play mode, you have to click the daily play mode button, which puts a 1 down here in this cell, and then select the card that you want to handicap. Let's say we want to handicap, let's say the 18th for Santa Anita from 2016. Now you notice the 5 in front of these file numbers means 2015. And you have to rename those files for each year. You'll have 5s for 2015, you'll have 4s for 2014, etc. So the current year won't have a number in front of it, it'll just be the file name. So if I wanted to handicap the 18th for Santa Anita, that would be this file, and that would be card number 189. That's my starting card number and my ending card number because I'm only doing 1 card. So that 189 card number goes in both the starting card number box and the ending card number box. Now you'll notice we're not in batch process mode because it's blank, and that's because you don't batch process if you're only doing a single card in daily play mode, or even in the with results mode. but we'll get to that after this one. Okay, so we've got daily play clicked, and we have a 1 here. We have starting card number, ending card number is the same because we're looking at a single card. And in the mode display box cell here, it says daily play mode. So we know we've got the correct settings for the current mode that we're operating in. This time, you just click run data, wait for the timer window again, and when the timer window comes up and you click OK, the program's going to take you to the race selection area. I'll show you that right now. This is the race, so this is where you'll end up when you get rid of that timer window. It's going to take you here automatically, and you can select whichever race you want to look at. Race 1. Here's your this is the black box normal readout page here, the display page for the black box for race 1. Okay, all your rankings are here as was discussed in a previous video. To get back to select another race, you just click the let me show you again. Click the select new race button right here, and it'll take you back to the race selection area. You select the next race or whatever race you want to look at. Okay, now let's go back to the main sheet. I'm going to do that by clicking the main sheet tab down here, main. Okay, that's daily play mode. With results mode, it's the same as daily play, except you're not just importing the card file, you're importing the results files also. To import results, you have to click the with results button, and that'll get rid of this 1. As soon as you click that, it'll get rid of that 1. So now we have no batch process because we're only going to look at 1 card, but we're going to look at the results along with what the different modes or different methods, ranking methods, showed as contenders. And the all record mode window, of course, is blank because we're not in we don't want to use the all record mode or the auto record mode up here. That'll be blank too. Okay, so we've got the card file, that same card we looked at, but we're in with results mode. So when we import that card number or card file, we're going to get the card data, and we're also going to get the results at the same time. And I'll show you how that works right now. Just click, once you get display the daily play mode with results up here, you're ready to click the run data button for this mode. And the time that it takes to import that card and results file is going to vary depending on how fast your computer is and what version of Excel you're using. The newer versions run a little slower than this one. I'm using 2002. Okay, it took us 13.82 seconds, by the way, to import both the card file and the results file. So when I click OK to get rid of this window, it'll take us to the race selection area again. Let's look at race 1 again. Now you'll notice that in this area right here we have results. The winner was, there's win place show. So the winner paid $8.60 or $6.60, and it was the 5 horse. These are the horse numbers here. The second place horse was the 1 horse. Third place was the 3 horse, and fourth place was the 2 horse. Okay, that's with results mode. Let's go back to main. Okay, the next one. I'll talk about auto record, although really I don't use auto record anymore, because the auto record mode does more and is, that's the one that populates all of our record keeping sheets for all 11 methods. Auto record only records one method, a single method. over to the right of where I'm showing you is a list of those methods, and you can select any one of those and type that code into this box, and then when you run data, the results data from the program for the cards that are going in will go to the original record keeping sheet, which is down here. This record keeping sheet, it'll go here. Okay, all record mode uses these other individual method code. It will populate all of the 11 record keeping sheets, one for each rankings method. Okay, let me go back. So really, the original auto record mode and the original record keeping sheet I don't use. You can use this sheet to manually record races rather than run it in auto record or all record mode. You could manually record only the races you bet, and that would keep track of your bets, what they paid, what the ROI was, and all that. And manual record mode is on the summaries sheet, which is the regular black box sheet. These buttons over here, record FWC, record FV, record IV, record FWC Alt FV, record FBIV, record all tops, record FWC Alt 2, and record census. You could record any of those methods manually by selecting a race and then clicking the method that you want to use for that you used for that race in your actual betting. So if I wanted to record the FWC mode for this race, I would just click record FWC, and you'll see it says recorded. That means that the results for this race got sent to the record keeping sheet, which is right here. We had the first pick for the first race was 4th, and none of the second pick and third pick missed completely. And then you get your other data here. The FWC method was used, it was a Monday, it was a fast track, etc., etc., etc. Now you have to, if you're playing a race in daily play mode, you can't use this sheet. You have to have results. So if you make bets in daily play mode, just write those down. Note which race, which method you used, and then when you get the results files, import that and manually record the races that you actually play. That'll keep track of the actual bets that you make and give you the ROI, hit rate, and all that stuff, just like the other record keeping sheets. Okay, I'm going to erase this record keeping sheet by clicking this button, delete existing race data, and it'll get rid of that. Just to keep, I'm going to keep that blank because I don't use it anymore. Okay, back to main. That is daily play mode with results. And I was talking about auto record mode, which I don't use anymore. The next thing I'm going to talk about is all record mode, which records whichever cards you've got listed here, whether it's a single card or multiple cards. It'll run all of those cards through the program and record each race that gets played in all 11 methods to the individual record keeping sheets down here at the bottom. I'll show you. This is record keeping and last, record keeping consensus, all tops, FBIV combo, etc. for all 11 methods. And those records will show up individually for each method that's played. And they'll be different because there's different rankings methods. To get into the all record mode, you have to have with results clicked, because you have to have results when you're testing. You have to select either a single card, starting card, same ending card, or multiple cards if you're going to test say the first month of a past meet or whatever, you could, the ending card could be 24 cards later than this one, so you'd have a different card number for starting card and ending card. And you'd have to be in batch processing. Whether or not you're using a single card or multiple cards, you have to have batch process clicked in order to get into all record mode. Because batch process also means that you're importing results files as well as the card files. If you just put a 1 here without the batch process box having a 1 in it, you'll get an error message here, mode settings error. That means you want to be in all record mode, but you don't have something else is wrong. And in this case, it means batch process should have a 1 in it. So when I put a 1 in batch process and a 1 in all record, and I've got at least one card selected, then when I click out of that, you'll get all record mode. So you know you're in the proper, you've got the proper settings for the all record mode. Then you just click run data, and the same thing, it'll run through either one card or several cards through the program. And in all record mode, each card that gets processed and sent to the record keeping sheets will change our summary sheet, which is sheet 2. You'll be able to watch those changes take place, and I'll show you sheet 2. It will take you to sheet 2 automatically while it's running, but if you want to just go to sheet 2 for whatever reason, you can just click the go to sheet 2 button. And this is sheet 2. Down here you'll see sheet 2 is unhidden so that you can look at it. This shows a bunch of bright green and pale green cells that I've selected. Those are picks and methods that are showing positive. The bright green ones are the better ones, higher hit rate and or higher ROI. So yeah, as you can see, I've run January 1st through January 18th already through auto record mode, and these are the results that have come up. A lot of potential here. You've got some good hit rates for for first pick, second pick, and third pick, as well as combined, which is all three put together. If you're betting all three picks, there's some good data here, or good results here. FWC, for instance, is hitting at 56.5%, betting all three picks, and a 1.91 ROI, or 91% profit. A couple of other ones are a little lower, FV and FWC, Alt FV and FVIV combined. They're all producing pretty well. First pick, the best ones are IV for the first, betting the first pick only, at 21.5 and a 36% profit, and FVIV first pick is 21.5% hit rate and 28% profit. Second pick, you can see, is doing really well, and so is third pick. The hit rates are generally lower, but the ROI is generally higher because you're betting higher odds horses most of the time with the second, third pick than you are with the first pick. So there's a lot of potential here. As I said, I've only recorded January 1st through January 18th for this meet. And you'll also see right here that it tells you which running styles you're using. I'm using the recalculated running styles, which are my running styles, versus the raw running styles from the data files. This area down here is going to show if during your analysis of the various record keeping sheets you find that certain race types should not be bet, you can go to the main sheet and right over here. In this cell right here, you can type in which races you don't want to play, or which races you want to play only. And whatever you type in here is going to show not only on sheet 2 right here, it will also show well, I'm not sure. I know record keeping and last, which is the one I use most of the time. That sheet, the same thing is going to be shown up here. If you need help getting this area here to show those notes that you made on the main sheet, let me know. Or for the other rankings methods, for this particular one, I don't have any notes in there yet because I'm still tracking Santa Anita. I'm not playing yet. But anyway, let's go back to main. Okay, we've gone, let me go back over here. Okay, we've gone through all the modes: daily play with results, populating the database, auto record mode or manual record mode, and all record mode. So that's basically it. You can look at the previous videos to get a better explanation of each of those methods. This is basically just a recap of those. Okay, now the variable rankings method that we have is the first and last method. The original method was written by me for Fairgrounds strictly, and that was a weighting system for FR1 velocity, FR2 velocity, and FR3 velocity. You could put, I can put different weightings for each of those three, depending on, you know, which of those three velocity segments I felt were more important than the other two. That's the original first and last, but we have other methods that we can, other rankings methods that we can substitute for that original method. I'm going to show you how to do that. Those additional rankings methods are shown on the summary sheet, which is the regular black box view. First and last, the picks that are selected for first and last are right down here where it says first and last. And they're also, the top three are also listed right here. Let me go back over right here, first and last. So whichever method you've selected, whichever rankings method you've selected to use for first and last, the top three picks for that particular method, rankings method, will be displayed right here. Okay, to change rankings methods for the first and last method, go over to the left of the regular black box view, under the results area, right here. This is where you do your selections for the first and last. Currently, the one that I have selected, it says right here, rankings method equals PFB, which is the power, form, and velocity method right here. That's the one that I have selected right now. If I want to change that to either FWC, which this is FWC mode, but it's different than the regular FWC mode. The regular FWC mode has more pass indications than this one. The only pass you will get in this FWC mode is 20% no velocities. In other words, if a race has got 10 horses in it and 2 of them do not have qualified velocities, then you'll get a pass. in first and last FWC mode. Okay, the other ones, EPP, which is early pace picture, is right next to PFV right here, and it would be 435. Okay, I can select EPP mode, for instance, by coming over to this column and taking that PFV character out of there, just backspace out of it, go to the EPP column or cell and put any character in there. It doesn't matter what it is, an X or whatever. Okay, when you click out of that, you'll see this rankings method equals EPP now, because I've selected EPP instead of PFV, which is what I had before. So any of these methods you can substitute for the original first and last method. Now all of these will play every race in that method except 20% no velocity races. It will pass, any of these methods will pass if there are 20% of the runners in the field that do not have qualified pace lines or velocities. They're either the distances are wrong or the surface is wrong or whatever compared to today's race. So you'll get passes for 20% no velocity races. You have, like I said, FWC mode, early pace picture mode, PFV mode, and you have a combination of EPP and PFV here, which combines both the EPP picks and the PFV picks, and depending on which numbers come up more often between those two methods, that's the final picks that you'll get for the EPP plus PFV mode. Class, which is over here, class is right here. Those are all the horses ranked by class. Distance, ranking by distance is right below that, and a combination of class and distance is below that. And you'll see, we go back over here, you can select class, you can select distance, or combination of class and distance. We also have another method that I call points, which is, I don't even remember really what those points are or how they're calculated. It's I believe on the remote devices sheet. Yeah, this is them down here. You can test that method. Maybe it'll work better than the other ones. But there are your horses ranked right here for the points method. We also, let's go back, we also have a late method, rankings method, which puts more weight on the finishing portion of races rather than the early portions of races. So any of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, any of these 9 rankings method can be selected to be recorded in the first and last record keeping sheet, which is down here. Record keeping and last instead of first and last. It's just record keeping and last. So whatever method you have selected here, those results will be put in the record keeping and last record keeping sheet. And that's basically all I wanted to do in this video, was to recap the operational settings for the different modes and to address how you change the first and last variable method to something other than the original first and last method. To use the original first and last method, right up here you'll see first and last weights. FR1 weight, FR2 weight, FR3 weight, and you can select your own weightings here, and that will determine what the how the rankings for the horses are done by these weightings for each of the three velocity segments. Start to first call to second call, and second call to finish. You can weight those any way you want to. And to get into that method, you just clear everything out in all of these. If there are any selections, any characters in any of these boxes, and you want to use the original record keeping, just click those characters and backspace out of it. Leave this complete column here empty, and you will now be in, as you can see, rankings method equals original, which is the original first and last method. So you actually have the original method. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different methods that can be substituted for in the first and last variable method. So we've got 11 methods, and one of those is variable to use any of 10 rankings methods. So we actually have 11, we have 10 plus 10 is 20 rankings methods that can be tested in all record mode. Okay, that's what I wanted to cover. Any of you have questions, shoot me an email or post it on the forum, and we can either Skype or go email back and forth or talk on the phone or whatever if you have questions. Okay, that's it. I'm going to close the video, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.